The night sky has always been a canvas for human imagination. For thousands of years, long before we understood what the stars actually were, we simply looked up. We sat by slowly fading fires, feeling the cool evening breeze against our skin, and watched the silver dust of the Milky Way stretch across the immense, dark expanse above. The stars were our quiet, steadfast companions. They guided ancient ships across vast, uncharted oceans, reflecting softly on the dark, rolling water. They marked the changing of the seasons, arriving just in time to announce the coming of winter snows or the warmth of summer rains. They were the homes of ancient myths, painted in pale light against the absolute dark. But as time moved forward and our understanding of the world deepened, our relationship with the sky began to shift. The sky was no longer just a painted dome to be admired from afar. It became an ocean without a shore, waiting patiently to be sailed. Tonight, we are going to take a long, peaceful journey through the history of how humanity learned to leave the cradle of Earth. We will travel through time, drifting slowly upward, leaving the familiar blue atmosphere behind, and venturing out into the quiet, starlit depths of the cosmos. Close your eyes. Let your breathing slow down. Find a comfortable rhythm, and let us begin our journey to the stars. Our story begins in the mid-20th century. Down on the surface of the Earth, the world was a chaotic place, full of noise and motion. But above the clouds, far beyond the reach of birds or planes, the atmosphere grows thinner and thinner, gradually fading into the vacuum of space. There is no sharp edge where the air suddenly ends. About 100 kilometers above sea level lies a conventional boundary known as the Kármán line. Crossing it is conventionally regarded as entering space. The first machines to reach upward and cross this boundary were not elegant. They were heavy, metallic towers built in the 1940s. The earliest among them were V-2 rockets, developed during the dark years of the Second World War, and later adapted for scientific research. They roared off the launch pads with incredible force, tearing through the lower atmosphere, shaking the ground beneath them as they climbed higher and higher into the sky. But as they climbed, the environment around them changed. The resistance of the thick, warm air began to fade away. Outside the hull, the thinning atmosphere could carry less and less sound. Inside, the engines continued to tremble through the structure until at last they shut down. Imagine riding alongside one of those early pioneering machines, gliding upward in slow motion. As you rise, the bright, familiar blue of the daytime sky begins to deepen. It turns to a rich royal indigo. Then it shifts to a deep, dark violet. And finally, as the last traces of the atmosphere fall away below you, the sky fades entirely into the pure, unending black of space. In this dark, silent realm, there is no wind. There is no weather. Outside the spacecraft, there is no sound at all. There is only the gentle, beautiful curve of the earth below, glowing softly in the sunlight. You can see the thin, fragile blue halo of the atmosphere clinging to the edge of the planet, shielding all of life from the cold void. The first objects to cross the Kármán line fell back to Earth quickly, their journey brief and solitary. But they proved something incredible. The boundary could be crossed. The invisible door to the universe had been unlocked. And as the years passed, the early, tentative steps into the upper atmosphere began to transform. They shifted from isolated experiments into a grand, collective dream. The long journey into the quiet dark had officially begun. As the years drifted softly by, the early tentative rockets gave way to a new kind of dream. The world began to look up not just with curiosity, but with a deep, collective longing to touch the void. In the crisp autumn of 1957, a small, polished metal sphere was placed on top of a rocket and pushed gently out of the atmosphere. Its name was Sputnik. Once it reached orbit, it began to circle the Earth, traveling smoothly and silently in the quiet dark. Sputnik carried a very simple radio transmitter. As it flew high over the sleeping continents, it broadcast a steady, rhythmic pulse. Beep, beep, beep. That soft, metallic sound was picked up by amateur radio operators sitting in their quiet living rooms, looking out their windows at the cold night sky. It was a comforting rhythm, the sound of a new era. A tiny, human-made moon, whispering to us from the great unknown. Soon after, humans themselves followed. They climbed into small, cramped capsules, trusting the careful mathematics and the brilliant engineering that would keep them safe in an environment completely hostile to life. They closed the heavy hatches and let the engines push them up into the silence. Imagine being one of those first explorers. The roaring vibrations of the launch slowly fade away, replaced by a profound, weightless peace. You are floating in microgravity. You drift over to a small, thick glass porthole, and you look out. Below you, the world is breathtaking. You see the swirling, delicate white clouds, casting long shadows over the deep blue oceans. You see the rich greens and browns of the continents passing by in total silence. There are no borders visible from up here. Just a single, beautiful, fragile sphere suspended in the dark. But the dream did not stop in low orbit. The ultimate destination was waiting, shining quietly in the night sky. The moon. The moon is our closest neighbor. A silent, silver lantern that has watched over the earth for billions of years. For all of human history, it was the ultimate symbol of the unattainable, a glowing disk that belonged only to the realm of myth and poetry. But in the summer of 1969, humanity built a ship capable of crossing the deep ocean between worlds. The journey took days. Days of coasting silently through the immense, dark void. In the spacecraft, everything was calm. Outside, there was only the absolute stillness of deep space and the growing silver presence of the lunar surface. When the first explorers finally arrived, they did not find a world of chaos. They found a world of profound, eternal peace. Imagine stepping out of the lander and down onto that silver soil. The gravity is incredibly weak. Every movement feels slow, deliberate, and graceful. The ground is covered in a fine, powdery dust, colored like pale charcoal. Because the moon has no atmosphere, there is no wind to disturb the dust. There is no rain to wash it away. When a footprint is pressed softly into the lunar soil, it remains there, perfectly preserved. It stays there in the silent vacuum, resting peacefully, waiting out the centuries. The sky above the moon is always pitch black, even when the sun is shining brightly. And suspended in that unending black sky is the earth, glowing like a vibrant blue and white jewel. To stand on the silent dust of the moon and look back at the quiet beauty of our home is a moment of pure, uninterrupted wonder. After the intense, brilliant journey to the moon, humanity's attention gradually shifted. We realized that we did not just want to visit the quiet dark for a few days at a time. We wanted to stay. We wanted to learn how to live there. And so, we began to build homes in orbit. First came the Soviet Salyut stations. Then came Skylab, a large, quiet workshop floating above the clouds. Later came Mir, a modular home in the sky where cosmonauts spent months drifting in the gentle embrace of weightlessness. Living in these early orbital stations was a profound shift in the human experience. Everything familiar was changed. Up there, the familiar sensation of weight fades away. The station and everything inside it fall gently around the earth together. You do not walk, you float. You glide effortlessly from one end of a module to the other with the gentlest push of a fingertip. Water behaves completely differently. Without gravity to pull it down, water forms perfectly round, shimmering spheres. They float in the air, trembling slightly, catching the light like liquid glass. Even sleep is transformed. There is no up or down. Astronauts slip into soft, cozy sleeping bags tethered to the walls. They drift peacefully, hovering just slightly within their restraints, their muscles completely relaxed, free from the familiar pressure of a mattress beneath the body. During this time, a new kind of ship was born. A ship designed not just to leave Earth, but to return to it gracefully. The space shuttle. When it launched, it rode a pillar of fire into the sky, much like the rockets before it. But when its work in orbit was done, it did something extraordinary. It turned around, facing the atmosphere, and began to fall. As it fell, the air compressed and heated around the spacecraft, forming a glowing sheath of plasma. But beneath that fiery glow, the ship was safe. As it slowed down and dropped lower into the thick, familiar air of our atmosphere, it stopped being a spaceship. It became a glider. Imagine watching this massive, white and black ship descending from the clouds. Its main engines are silent. From a distance, it seems almost weightless as it glides, slicing smoothly through the air, dropping lower and lower in a steep dive, until it flares out at the very last moment and touches down gently on a long runway. Like a great white bird returning to its nest after a long journey across an endless ocean. While these ships flew up and back, the people living in the orbital stations learned the rhythm of the cosmos. An orbital station circles the Earth once every 90 minutes. This means that every 45 minutes, the crew is treated to a sunrise or a sunset. Imagine floating quietly by a small window. Below you, the world is draped in the deep shadow of night. You see the golden, sprawling webs of city lights. And then, at the edge of the world, a thin, brilliant crescent of electric blue appears. It brightens, expanding into layers of violet pink and bright gold as the sun silently crests the horizon. The light floods the cabin, warming your skin. It is a sunrise that happens 16 times a day. A quiet, repeating miracle, marking the passage of time in a place where days and nights blend into a single, peaceful drift. As the new century approached, humanity's gaze began to widen. We realized that the vast, silent dark was too immense to explore alone. Former rivals began to cooperate even while their differences remained, guided by a quiet, steady desire to work together. This was the dawn of a new era of cooperation. We began to build a shared home in the sky, the International Space Station. It is a true marvel of human spirit, a massive, shining laboratory floating silently about 400 kilometers above the Earth's surface. It was not built in a single day or by a single nation. It was built piece by piece, carried up by dozens of rockets over many, many years. It was carefully assembled in the quiet vacuum by men and women wearing thick, white protective suits, working slowly and patiently in the silent dark. The station is a place of continuous, peaceful work, while the earth spins below with all its noise and conflict. The astronauts above float quietly through the modules, tending to delicate experiments, growing small plants in microgravity, and looking down at the beautiful, borderless world they all share. But while humans were learning to live and work together in orbit, we also wanted to see further into the deep. We wanted to know what lay beyond our own small, brightly lit neighborhood. Because space is so vast and human bodies are so delicate, we began to send machines to do the looking for us. We sent robotic explorers, silent sentinels built with exquisite care, designed to travel completely alone into the deep, cold dark. One of the most famous of these silent watchers is the Hubble Space Telescope. Hubble was carried into orbit and gently released, floating freely above the blurring atmosphere of the Earth. Once its beautiful curved mirrors were perfectly aligned, it opened its eyes and it looked out into the deep past. Hubble showed us that the universe is far richer and far more beautiful than we ever dared to imagine. It showed us giant, glowing clouds of gas and dust, painted in soft hues of pink, gold, and deep blue, where completely new stars are being born in the silence. It showed us ancient, spiraling galaxies, spinning slowly in the distance, containing billions of stars of their own. It showed us that the dark spaces between the stars are not empty at all. They are full of ancient light, traveling patiently for millions of years, just waiting to be seen. And while Hubble looked out into the deep, other gentle machines were sent to explore the worlds closer to home. Mars, the red planet. For decades, we have been sending orbiters and rovers to Mars. These machines are patient. They are steady, They do not need to breathe. They do not mind the cold, and they are never in a hurry. Imagine standing on the surface of Mars, looking through the camera eyes of one of these rovers. The landscape is desolate, but incredibly beautiful. The ground is covered in fine, rust-colored sand, and scattered with smooth, dark rocks that have rested there undisturbed for millions of years. In the distance, you can see the curved rims of ancient craters and the gentle, rolling slopes of long-dormant volcanoes. The atmosphere on Mars is very thin. When the wind moves across the plain, it sounds faint and muffled, a low breath passing over the dust and sweeping it slowly across the dunes. The sky is not blue, but a hazy, pale orange. And when the sun finally sets on Mars, it is a truly spectacular sight. Because of the fine dust in the atmosphere, the region around the setting sun gathers into an unexpected blue-gray glow, surrounded by the softer rust and gold of the Martian evening. The rovers sit quietly on the sand as the sun dips through its blue-gray halo and disappears below the distant horizon. The temperature drops dramatically. The stars come out, shining clearly through the thin, cold air. Some of the earlier rovers rest through the night, waiting patiently for the morning sunlight to reach their solar panels, so they can roll a few more meters, carefully exploring a world where no human has ever walked. Back on Earth, as the new century began, the way we traveled to space began to change once again. For decades, most launch vehicles were expendable. They were massive, beautiful machines that would push their cargo into the sky and then fall away, burning up in the atmosphere or sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Even reusable systems, such as the space shuttle, recovered only some of their major components. It was a magnificent but wasteful process. But engineers began to dream of a different way, a more graceful way. They imagined a rocket that could fly to space, deliver its cargo, and then turn around, falling back toward the Earth, not as debris, but as a controlled, intelligent machine. This became the era of commercial reusability. Imagine watching a modern rocket return from space. It falls backward, engines first, descending through the atmosphere at incredible speeds. The air around it heats and shimmers. But the rocket is smart. Small thrusters gently adjust its angle. Grid fins on its sides slice through the air, steering it with mathematical precision. And then, just before it reaches the ground, the engine ignites one final time. A brilliant plume of fire pushes against the Earth. the massive towering cylinder of metal slows down. For a brief, breathless moment, its downward motion seems almost to stop. And then, its landing legs settle softly onto the pad. It is a display of perfect balance, brute force transforming into delicate control. A machine returning from the void, ready to rest and ready to fly again. This more reusable and economical way of reaching orbit has opened the door to the next great chapter of human space exploration. We are no longer just visiting space, and we are no longer just staying in low orbit. We are returning to the deep. We are returning to the moon. The new lunar program, named Artemis, is not a sprint for prestige. It is a calm, deliberate return. In April 2026, 4 astronauts once again flew around the moon, looking down at the silent, gray craters, and feeling a deep connection to the explorers who had gone before them half a century earlier. But this time, the goal is different. We are looking toward the lunar South Pole. The South Pole of the moon is a place of dramatic contrasts. Because of the angle of the sun, some elevated ridges there receive sunlight for long stretches of the lunar year. And right next to them are deep, dark craters whose floors may not have received direct sunlight for billions of years. In those eternal shadows, hidden in the freezing dark, there is water. Ancient ice trapped quietly in the soil. This ice may be one of the keys to our future. If it can be extracted efficiently, it could provide water to drink, oxygen to breathe, and eventually propellant for journeys even farther into space. NASA and its international partners are preparing the first modules of a new station, not in the orbit of Earth, but in the orbit of the moon. A quiet outpost called the Gateway. It will circle the moon slowly, a beacon in the dark, a resting place for travelers before they descend to the silver surface. From the Gateway, astronauts will be able to look out into the immense dark ocean of the solar system. They will look past the moon, past the Earth, and focus their eyes on the small red dot in the distance. Mars. The journey to Mars will be long. It will take months of silent, peaceful drifting through the void. But humanity is learning patience. We are learning how to build closed, self-sustaining ecosystems. We are learning how to live in harmony with the harsh, beautiful reality of space. Our journey from the first, roaring rockets to the quiet, reusable ships of today has been a journey of understanding. We have learned that the universe is not something to be conquered. It is a place to be understood. a place to be respected. Every time we launch a ship, every time a rover rolls across the red sand, every time an astronaut looks down at the Earth from the quiet safety of an orbital station, we are fulfilling an ancient dream. We are the universe waking up and looking back at itself. As you drift toward sleep, imagine yourself floating in that vast, peaceful expanse. There is no noise here. There is no hurry. There is only the slow, graceful dance of the planets, the gentle glow of the distant stars, and the infinite, calming silence of the dark. You are safe. You are part of this incredible, expanding story. Let the quiet of the cosmos wrap around you. Let the soft light of the silver moon guide you. And let yourself drift, slowly and peacefully, into a deep, restful sleep. Good night.